Welcome to this brief webinar about demystifying annuities. What is all the fuss about? There are 4 types of annuities. We're going to review each one and how they are used. This is being sponsored by Asset Preservation Solutions. I'm the founder and CEO. We're a 17-year-old company, and we work primarily with retirees to make their retirement all that they want it to be. The main thing about it is it's going to be predictable instead of fuzzy. We are committed to teaching people about financial concepts. I'm a representative of the Council of Financial Educators. That's a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we're dedicated to bringing different topics of finances to the consumer because we feel a well-informed consumer can make their own good decisions. We can't have a webinar without a disclaimer, so I'm going to give you a moment to look this over. So when I teach this course in a public setting, and this word annuities comes onto the screen, I like to ask them to raise their hand if they fall into one of these 3 categories. So would you listen and consider which one of these fits you? Number 1, I like annuities. Number 2, I don't like annuities. Number 3, I don't know enough about annuities to make an intelligent statement either way, whether I like them or don't like them. They're just another asset class, and they serve a purpose in financial planning. So as I mentioned, there are 4 types of annuities. Just a quick look at them. There's a fixed annuity. This is like a CD. It pays a set rate for a set length of time. There's a SPIA, single premium immediate annuity. And here you are trading a lump sum of money for a cash flow. There's a fixed indexed annuities. These earn credits based on the performance of an index. And finally, there's a variable annuity. This one's a bit different than the first 3. The first 3 are sold by insurance licensed agents, but a variable annuity, you need to have a securities license because there are securities inside of your accounts. And we'll look at this in more detail. So let's start with the immediate annuity. Here you are exchanging a lump sum of money and it's turning it into an income stream. The payments are predetermined. Once you start this, you cannot stop it. It is irrevocable. And any remaining contract value is forfeited to the insurance company. That statement right there is why I believe many people think annuities are bad. Because here's what happens. Let's say you're a 67-year-old, you're getting ready to retire, you give an annuity company $150,000 and they give you an income stream for life. 2 weeks later, you have a heart attack and die. The annuity company gets to keep all of that money. What a bad deal that was. Well, it's very simple to fix that. Instead of just saying for life, you say, I want it for 20 years certain or my lifetime. You have the same heart attack 2 weeks later, and for 20 years, your beneficiary receives those payments. So it's all in how you word the terms of an immediate annuity that can make it way to the insurance company's benefit or just fine for the consumer. So then we have a fixed annuity. This grows at a specific rate for a specific amount of time. As I'm doing this recording, you can have an annuity that'll pay for 5 years at 3.2% compounded per year. And you'll see it grows tax deferred. So instead of issuing you interest every year and reporting it for taxes, This grows and compounds over 5 years without having to pay taxes until the term is up. Any remaining contract value would be paid to the beneficiary upon your death. A fixed indexed annuity, most people have not heard of these, even though they have been around since 1995. Reason being, you have to go to an advisor that offers this product or you'll never even know about it. This has a minimum interest rate guarantee, not a large one on the guarantee. Your index grows tax deferred, and your interest is linked to an index like the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, or many others, without actually being invested in it. Now that's a pretty confusing statement, and I'm just going to let that statement go right now. If you're interested in this type of product, get the full explanation from an insurance professional about how the indexes and crediting works. You may pay a fee if you want your annuity to give you a lifetime income. Finally, the variable annuity. I want to point out something here real quick. See here, fixed indexed are principal guaranteed. You're not going to lose money. A variable does not have that guarantee. Although most of the people that come in with a variable annuity thought they heard it was guaranteed when they bought it. What they have is a guaranteed return of principal. Inside of a variable annuity, you'll usually find a life insurance contract. So if the annuity holder passes away, their beneficiary will receive the principal. So yes, it has a principal return feature, but you have to die to receive it. The other item I want to print out is all annuities have surrender charges. The shortest will usually be 3 years. Some people write annuities as long as 15 years. So just know and understand the contract. So back to the variable. Here you have market risk because inside of a variable annuity, you're investing in sub-accounts. Sub-accounts is the term used in the insurance industry, but they're mirroring mutual funds. So if a mutual fund goes up or down, so does the contract value. Like others, your interest grows tax deferred, and there is a death benefit for the beneficiary. So that's it, folks. Those are basically the 4 types of annuities. How are they used? Well, it's one of 2 ways. You can use them for safe accumulation, or you can use them to provide a lifetime income. Your advisor should be able to design an income plan for you that might incorporate an annuity for income, or it might use an annuity just for safe accumulation. This is your spectrum of risk. Over on the left side, stocks in general are the most riskiest of the things that you'll be exposed to. Also has the potential for the biggest gain, but also has the potential for the biggest loss. Over on this side of the fulcrum, there's also the variable annuity. It can go up, it can go down. But when we get to the right side, a fixed annuity is like a CD. We'll go into more detail. And the fixed indexed annuity gives you the potential for the largest gains of an annuity without taking any risk. So let me ask you this question. This is a great starting point for my meetings with clients. Imagine you could write a check. You had all of your money available in cash. What percent would you like to put in each of these options? So option number 1, you have principal protected, and you can expect 3 to 6% returns. Sometimes they'll be lower, Sometimes they'll be higher, but at no time are you going to lose principal. Then what amount of money would you like to dedicate to a lower risk strategy, but where your principal is at risk? Here you're looking for maybe a 10% return, maybe a little more, or a 15% loss. Again, maybe a little more. And over here we have a higher risk box. There you can gain 25% or even more per year, or you can lose 35% or even more per year. It's your money, it's your choice. How would you like to spread it out? If you're with a spouse, both of you do your own answer because they're always going to turn out different. So let's look at a little more detail at a fixed annuity. They are similar to a certificate of deposit as they pay a set rate for a set amount of time. No matter where you got one, if you buy one, it is created and sold by insurance companies. So whether you get one at a brokerage house or a bank or an independent advisor, it is an insurance product. As I mentioned, it pays a fixed interest rate for a fixed time period. And one good use of it would be to bridge between retirement and Social Security. So let's say somebody's going to retire at age 65. Their full retirement age is not until 66. So they purchase a fixed annuity with money they don't want to lose. So they'll have the appropriate amount of money to carry them over that year that they're waiting to start their Social Security. How about fixed indexed annuities? It's a multi-year guaranteed annuity. Damn it. We're going to have to go with another cut here. Darn it. Take 3. Welcome to our brief seminar today. We're discussing demystifying annuities. What is all the fuss about these things? We're going to look at the 4 types of annuities and how they are used. My name is Wesley Walters. I'm the founder and CEO of Asset Preservation Solutions. We try to do exactly what our company name says. We don't want clients to lose assets. We want to preserve assets by any means possible. Our company is 17 years old with offices in Greensboro and Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We are committed to financial education for consumers. I am a member of the Council of Financial Educators, a nonprofit organization dedicated to getting good information to consumers about various financial products. We believe that if consumers have good, basic, accurate information, that they can make better financial decisions. Can't have a webinar without a disclaimer. So let me give you a few moments to read this over. Annuities. When this word comes up on the screen when I'm teaching in a public environment, I like to ask people to put themselves in one of these 3 categories. So please listen up and let me know which of these fit you. Number 1, I don't like annuities. Number 2, I like annuities. Number 3, I truly don't know enough about annuities to have an opinion either way. Which of those do you fit in? Hopefully you'll learn a bit more as we go forward. So let's look at the basic types of annuities. There is a fixed annuity that pays a fixed rate of interest for a fixed amount of time. 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. There's a SPIA, single premium immediate annuity. This, you trade your lump sum of money for an income stream. Indexed annuities, most people have not heard of these, even though they have been around since 1995. The reason people haven't heard of them is they don't go to advisors that offer these. So you have to go to the proper advisor to learn about these products. These give you credits based on the performance of an index, like the Standard & Poor's S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the FTSE. Many indexes to choose from. We'll look at that in more detail. Then there's the variable annuity. Here you own securities in your account. Now, a variable is a little different. You can only purchase these from people who have a securities license. The first 3 types of annuities you can purchase from a person who has an insurance license. So let's look at a little more detail in each of these types of annuities. The single premium immediate annuity. Here, as I said, you're trading a lump sum of money into an income stream. Once you start it, the payments are locked in. Once the first payment is made, there's no backing out. And any remaining contract value is forfeited to the insurance company. Whoa, wait a minute. This is where the misunderstanding of structuring these properly leads to people not liking annuities. So let's take a look here real quick. You have a 67-year-old person retiring. They give an annuity company $200,000, and 2 weeks later, they drop dead of a heart attack. Yes, the insurance company gets to keep all that money. Well, that's just because it wasn't done properly. In order to prevent this, you use a little clause. It says 20 years certain payout or a lifetime. The heart attack happens 2 weeks later. The beneficiary gets 20 years worth of payments. In this case, if the annuitant, the owner, lives more than 20 years, let's say he dies at 95, that annuity will continue to pay until they die. A fixed annuity. Principal is guaranteed, first of all. You're paid a set interest rate for a set amount of time. Your interest grows tax deferred. We'll look at that a little bit more in a moment. Any contract value remaining goes to beneficiaries at death. And all annuities other than the immediate have surrender charges. They could be from 2 years to 15 years. Know your contract. The fixed indexed annuity also has a guarantee of principal. The minimum interest rate is 0. Your interest grows tax deferred. And the interest is linked to an external equity index without being in the market. It's linked to an index without being in the market. I'm not going to go into detail about that. It is a very good aspect of this product, but if you go see an insurance professional, they'll be able to explain what that means. You might end up paying a fee, usually around 1%, if you elect to have a rider that will pay you income and your spousal income for life. As mentioned, all annuities have surrender charges. A variable annuity. There is no guarantee of principal. As I mentioned, this is a little bit different type of annuity as it's investing in sub-accounts is what they're called in the insurance world, but they mirror mutual funds. So if you watch a mutual fund, it goes up and it goes down, and a variable annuity will do the same thing. So there are market risk involved. Like the other annuities, your interest grows tax deferred, and there is a death benefit. The thing about variable annuities that most people don't realize is the expenses can be very high. I usually see the lowest to be about 2.5%, and I have seen them as high as 4.5%. This is per year of your account value. We'll take a look at what Susie Orman says about these later. So here is our risk continuum. Stocks have the highest risk level. They can go up the most, but they can go down the most as well. If you go over to the right side of the fulcrum, you'll see non-risk products. CDs, fixed annuities, fixed indexed annuities. The fixed indexed annuity has the best potential for growth with no loss provisions. So let's take a look at this little exercise. This is a great starting point when I have a first meeting with a potential client. If you could just write a check, if all your money is available in cash, and you can just write a check and put any amount of your funds into each of these choices, how much would you put in these? So the yellow one has principal protection. And you can expect returns of 3 to 6%. Maybe less, maybe more, but your principal is going to be protected, and any gains that you make become protected principal. So let's look at the middle box. We're introducing risk, but let's call this a low risk choice. So here you might make 10%, maybe a little bit more a year. Of course, you can make 0, or you can lose 15%. Over on the final red box, this is the higher risk funds. Here, you can make 25% or more per year, but also you can lose 35% or more per year. It's your money. It's your choice. How would you like to distribute the funds? Interestingly enough, every one of these is appropriate for most people. So let's look at a little more detail on the fixed annuities. Similar to a certificate of deposit, no matter where you buy it, from a brokerage house, a bank, an independent advisor, they are all sold by insurance companies. An annuity is only in the market from an insurance company, no matter where you buy it. They pay a fixed interest rate. Right now, you can get 3.2% compounded a year for 5 years. That's the highest on the market at the moment. They pay it for a fixed period of time. Why would you buy a fixed annuity? Well, you have principal protection. That's a good thing. It's a safe place for money to grow at a known rate. It might be used as a bridge between retirement and Social Security. Let me give you the example. A person is 61 years old. They buy a 5-year annuity. They're going to retire at 66, but they don't get their full Social Security until they're 67. So they buy this product because in 5 years, they know exactly what it will be worth. There's no risk that they're going to lose any money. So they have that to carry them over for that 1 year between retirement and beginning Social Security. Couple comparisons to a CD. Both of them pay a multi-year guaranteed amount. The interest rate for the annuity is declared by the company. It will grow tax deferred with interest until a withdrawal occurs or maturity. There is a penalty for early withdrawal. There is no annual fee. What's a certificate deposit compared to? It has an interest rate declared by a bank. A CD will distribute your gains every year. They can't defer them, and they will report that to the IRS as taxable. There is a penalty for early withdrawal. There is no annual fee. So the main thing is, with an annuity, they're paying a higher rate than a CD typically, and your interest grows and compounds tax deferred. So what about fixed indexed annuities? Here, again, your investment performance is linked to an index without actually being invested in the index. They have principal protected, and your gains become principal, and your gains are protected. It's always written by an insurance company. They can be used for accumulation or income. So if you want a safe place to put money, not for income, but for accumulation, you can use this vehicle. It's over on the left side box, principal protected, gains of 3 to 6% a year. There are surrender charges, as we said. And if you want to use it for the other purpose of annuities, lifetime income that will also pass on to your spouse, you can do an income rider. Some have fees for that, some do not. Usually the fees are around 1%. So how is the interest credited? Again, you're linked to an underlying index. There are several crediting methods. We're going to look at this in more detail: caps, spreads, and participation rates. Your account is credited if the performance is positive. Your gain is locked in. If the underlying index performs negatively, your account balance will not go down. So let's take a look at these crediting methods. We're going to use the same gain every year from the indexes, only the crediting method will change. So they have a method called a cap. A cap means there's a top to how much you can earn in the year or 2-year option you're holding your annuity. So in this case, the underlying index goes up 10%, but you have a cap that you can earn 6. So your account is credited that 6. And again, that becomes protected principal. The next method is called a spread. In a spread, they're going to take off the top a stated percent. So in this example, we're going to use a 3% spread. The same index gains 10% that year. They're taking 3% off the top, so your account is credited with a 7% return. Finally, there's a participation rate. Here, you allocate your money, and you are limited to an 80% gain of the index. The index returns 10%. You're going to receive 8% crediting to your account. Now, which of these is better? Well, with the cap, you are limited on what you can earn. If the market is performing poorly, you might want to look at a cap. If the market only returns 4% and you have a 6% cap, you'll make all 4%. If you had a 3% spread and the market went up 4%, you're only going to be credited 1%. That 3% comes off the top. And with an 80% participation rate, you'd be credited 3.2%. So it varies. All of these should be considered when making a selection. So again, we have 2 reasons for having an annuity: income, guaranteed for life, or safe accumulation. So let's look at one example of a lifetime annuity. Here, the investor deposits $200,000 into the annuity product, and they wait for 9 years before beginning their income. Please note, on the interest credited to your account, there was never a gain. 9 years, never a gain, no gain going forward. Probably never going to happen, but we're required to show it anyway. So if there's never a gain and they begin income in the 9th year, they're guaranteed to get $15,054 a year for life. If they pass away and it's a joint payout, their spouse would receive that for life. Notice on the account value, as they pay out funds, the account value goes down. If the account value and surrender value go to 0, the annuity will still continue to pay out for life. But let's see what happens if there are gains to be realized. This is an actual historic result, same product, same company, but here we do have gains. So the gains are growing on your credited rate. The best year was 11.93. The worst year was 3.35. And the result is, instead of $15,000 a year, this is going to pay out $25,854 per year. And that is for life and the life of your spouse if you selected a joint payout. So here's an example of how did this product perform over time. Most companies will show you the most recent, the best, and the worst. So in this case, in this particular product, the most recent 10 years, they paid out 7.83% average per year. The worst 10 years ended up at 5.51 per year. And the best is the same as the most recent 10 years. Again, this can be viewed as a principal protected, no risk product. Here's another example from a different company. The best 10-year period achieved an average of 8.23. The worst 10 years was 5.67, and the most recent 10 years was 5.87. Now, let's take a moment and look at a variable annuity. It basically has two phases. We accumulate and then we pay it out. You get diversification within the annuity because you get to select sub-accounts. Remember, these are mirrors of mutual funds. They carry surrender charges like every other annuity. If structured, they have mortality and expense charges and administrative fees, which I mentioned can range from 2.5 to 4.5%. And as mentioned also, there is no principal guarantee. You can see your principal vary, note variable annuity, over time, up or down. What does one of America's favorite financial advisors say about these annuities? I'm going to leave this on pause for a moment. You can go to YouTube and put Susie Orman, variable annuities. This tape is not going to play. The URL for this is at the bottom. She's a great gal. I think she's so expressive, and this is about 1 minute and 10 seconds if you'd like to go there. So if you have an annuity that you would like for us to review, we will do that at no charge. If you would like to visit with us and learn about the different types of annuities and how they might be appropriate for you and your retirement plan, that's the important part about them. They fit into a retirement plan. Please contact us either by email or by telephone, 336-281-9990, and would love to meet you and go over these products at no cost or obligation. Hope this has been helpful. Wesley signing off.